Let me see.
Carter, go get my other phone out the armrest right quick at the truck.
I think we're live.
And we are live. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the second show of Uncomfortable Conversations with Coach Toy and
Sean Speaks, baby, in the house. Yes.
Y'all, last week we had a fantastic time. And oh my God, thank you guys so much for the feedback when we talked about polygamy versus monogamy. Now, y'all sparked a few things inside of us and inside of ourselves that had us straight tripping. Like, we literally went back behind the black curtain and just kind of talked about what you guys were saying and like the importance of knowing the difference, right? Because some of us are there and don't even know we're there. And some of us are there and we're just not, wanting to admit it, which brings us to today, right? Which is to do what, Coach Sean?
We're going to talk about stop lying.
Come on now. And y'all already know we do everything we do with a twist and a turn. So y'all just hold on to your seats. And before we go any further, I want to introduce myself and let Coach Sean introduce herself. And of course, give a shout out to our girls, Carrie and Angel with
High five.
Yeah. I'm so proud of them. They are doing their thing. We were actually a part of the online version of it. Unfortunately, we couldn't be there, but we were definitely in support online. Do you have anything that you want to say to Coach Carrie and Coach Angel?
No, you know what? I just want to say such an awesome event. I love the vision. I love the conference. I love day one. It was high vibe, energy all day, have fun. 3 more days to go.
Yes.
Just big shout outs to ATBA Impact Group and Carrie Crosby, Angel, Michelle, all of the crew. I wish we were there with you all, but we couldn't be here. We wanted to have at least one of us there so we could be doing this show live from the high vibe, but we're going to keep it going because they're over there in Myrtle Beach partying. They
partying. Wow.
We get partying.
But you're in Atlanta. I'm still at home. I'll be out of town the next show.
I'm in the ATL, baby. Yes, I'm in the ATL.
Yes. So awesome. But y'all know what's great and amazing about our show? It is uncomfortable conversation. It's real talk with us, right? About different things that most people are thinking, but they won't say it out loud. This is a space that you're safe in to actually do that. But without further ado, I want to introduce, for those of you who do not know me, who aren't a part of the tribe just yet, my name is Toy Addington. I am the CEO and founder of ICC Life Coach Institute. We certify coaches globally. We help people start businesses, grow businesses, and make money in their sleep. So if you are someone who wants to get certified as a professional life coach, please reach out. As well as I am the co-host with Coach Sean with the, of course, Uncomfortable Conversations. And I'm going to toss the ball over to her.
I am Sean Speaks. I am so glad to be here with Coach Toy with our show, Uncomfortable Conversations. And our goal really is to have uncomfortable conversations so that they become comfortable, right? And when they become comfortable, then you can grow, whether it's with yourself or with other people, right? And so I'm Sean Speaks. I have a blog called freeyourthinkingmind.com. I'm also a lawyer. My law firm is the Fleming Law Firm. I practice in Texas, primarily Houston, Texas, but I do go all over. I'm just all about self-belief, building you into who you want to be, right? I'm building myself into who I want to be, right? And it's for you to catch that inner connect with yourself, to build yourself into who you want to be. And I'm so glad to be teamed up with Coach Toy, none other than Coach Toy, right?
He's so awesome.
Coach Toy.
He's so awesome.
That's what I want to say. But anyway, big shout outs to Coach Toy and her. She has a fantastic coaching school, and I'm just telling you right now, she will help you take your game up to another level. Right? For me, I'm all about belief. I'm gonna get your belief. I'm gonna get you to think. I'm gonna get you to think a little differently than you would normally think. You'd be like, that damn Sean. But Coach Toy is gonna get you to elevate your business, take you from what you want to, you're thinking about doing, to actually doing. So I'm just glad to know her.
Oh, you're so sweet. No, and then just to unpack it again, guys, I actually do, I have to say this. Shout out to the sponsors who sponsored those girls at the Chucks and Pearls Women Empowerment event. Oh my God. When I talk about amazing, 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 and I'll just talk about the result real quick. I can sum this up in 30 seconds. Young ladies were calling me after the event saying, I have started working on my logo today. I have started my self-affirmations today. I have started to work on my business plan today, all because of the conversations that they had with the coaches that helped them at the Checks and Pearls event. So y'all, check this out. So we had this conversation about doing it about stop lying, right? That's the next show. Did y'all know? I didn't know. All I had ever heard was a white lie and was a white lie, really. Did you know that there was a black lie, a gray lie, and lies of omission and commission? I was like, oh, that's a thing. And why the black lie gotta be the worst of them all? I said, I be damned.
Well, you already know what my thoughts on it, but go ahead because I haven't heard of all of those different types of lies. I thought a lie was just a lie was just a lie, but explain the differences of the lie.
So I do have notes here, guys, just so you know, because I literally was doing the research, and when I found it, I was like, I have to talk about this. So when you're talking about lies of commission versus omission, omission is basically held in silence. So it's you not saying what it is, but you know you married. You know you're transsexual. You know you broke. You know you're unhealthy. You know you're broke in, but you're not sharing that information. And not doing that is definitely manipulative, and it is taking the other person's choice away in terms of how they may want to or not want to interact with you. Okay. It says a liar may choose to hide the entire truth or part of it, thus keeping it a secret. Denial is another form of omission, though it may imply lying to oneself or refusing to tell the truth to others. So you can do it to you too. So you can be telling yourself a lie, right? I am telling the truth when you know you lying, right? Some people lie so much until it becomes their truth.
Exactly. I got to plug up. My computer wasn't plugged up, so I was gonna be like exit out. I think I'm good now. Hold on, I'm sorry.
No worries. So when we're thinking about commission, it's the information provided that can be entirely false or only partially true or misinterpreted in a way that suggests intentional manipulation of the facts, usually linked to wrongful acts. Not all lies of commission are fundamentally bad. However, false promises or fraudulent signatures and certain type of clause or fairy tales are exactly the same thing. So you're living a lie. You're creating this illusion of something that is not real, but yet the words that are coming out of your mouth are being twisted and manipulated in such a way to where it becomes a truth and believable. So again, you're taking the person's choice away. You lying to them and you're lying to yourself. So when I think about the three colors of lies, and then I know we're going to dive into this in a minute, but I had to go there. So the three colors of lies. So there's a gray lie, a white lie, and there's a black lie. So white lies are basically, everybody know what that is. It's told as a need to protect people's feelings, and things of that nature. It may be, sometimes it's socially accepted, or the entire point of these lies can benefit the recipient. So I'm trying to protect somebody. I don't want to tell you that your breath smells right now because I don't want to hurt your feelings. That's considered a white lie. A gray lie is the intent that implies a liar's self-interest. I'm lying for my own personal gain. And I didn't even know that this was the thing that I had been talking to Sean about in a situation that I had encountered before. I did not know that there is a such thing as a gray lie. And I say it all the time, don't take my choice away. So you manipulate the situation and intentionally, say or do the things to manipulate your behavior or your words or your actions to make me feel like I'm the only one when there are several other people. We're in a monogamous relationship. I messed it up last week too. I swear to God, I know how to say it. But that's a great time. But y'all check this out. Black lives. Now, I just was too through on this one. They are never for the recipient's good, nor are they devised just to conceal certain types of behavior. It suggests dishonorable unethical, or lawless acts and are terribly corrupting for both the liar and those who the lie is being told to. They never come alone. It is in spurs or series of other deceptions, which together form a web of lies that eventually entrap the liars themselves, thus hurting not only them, but the person that they are exuding that thing on too.
Now, I got kicked out because my darn computer was out. So I know you were going over the different lies.
I held it down. You good?
You held it down. I didn't think anything different. All right. So, but you talked about the gray lie.
Yes.
So I want to kind of talk a little bit more about that. So go back to the gray lie, but I want to talk about, because I know you and I, because as much as we are very in sync, we're very different. Yeah. Right. So I think for you, and correct me if I'm wrong, you would probably focus more on lies other people tell or people tell to other people. Whereas for me, I like to focus on the lies I tell to myself.
Makes sense.
I'm going to tell you why. Because I lie to myself all the time.
We all do.
I will say that I'm okay when I'm not. I will say that I'm not happy, but I'm not unhappy, right? I'm lying. I will not speak truthful to myself. So when I do that, is that a gray lie? Is that a black lie? Is that a white lie? What kind of lie is that?
So it depends on the situation, right?
Okay.
So gray lies are it's for your own self-interest. Like you are protecting you, right? White lies is a protective mechanism too, but you're pretty much protecting someone else. However, depending on the situation.
So you're saying white lies protect someone else?
Yes, other people.
And black lies, you're protecting yourself.
No, black lies, you don't care about no daggone bad.
Oh, you don't care about
you ain't everybody else.
Why black lies got to be defined like that?
That's what I said. I didn't even know that was. We got 3 colors of lies. So now when I'm listening to people be lying, I'm saying you telling a whole gray lie. You telling a white lie. You telling a black ass lie. You're lying. But how about you doing all 3?
So this is the thing, because this is a piggyback off of, it's a continuation, because we want to talk about relationships in the toughest sense, right? And we started our conversation 2 weeks ago on monogamy and polygamy. And we basically said, hey, don't take my choice away. And a lot of times you would agree, the choice is taken away either through usually an omission lie, right? And so that omission lie may benefit me or may benefit the other person, because maybe the other person can't handle my truth. Right? So this is my thing. I have a question for you. Why can't you handle the truth of someone else?
So, that's a great question, actually. So it depends on the angle and who it's coming from, right?
Okay.
So a lot of times we don't want to handle the truth of somebody else because we don't want to face the reality of whatever their situation is. So if I love a man or a woman, whatever my preference is, and I so badly want the companionship, I so badly want whatever the benefit is, whether it's the financial benefit or the connection that we have, I'll lie to me and tell myself, you know what, he loved me more than her. Or, he treats me differently than her, or whatever that thing is. Or, he may be over there with her, and we're speaking from a relationship perspective. He may be over there with her or whatever, but this is where he wants to be. They've got songs about it, right? It's for a personal gain. There's a benefit there. People don't lie without a benefit attached. Most of the time. We don't. Now, we lie to ourselves all the time. And about stuff like, I know I need to lose 7 pounds, but I'll tell myself in a minute, I look good. No, you don't. Sometimes, well, you do, but you can look better if you get them 7 pounds off of you, per se. Okay. So it's a personal, it's being selfish, really, right? For my own benefit.
But what's wrong with selfishness a little bit, though, Toy? I don't know what's wrong with a coach. What's wrong with being selfish, right? Because I would say the title of this show is Stop Lying.
Right.
But I'm going to tell you, sometimes I actually think that you have to lie a little bit, because you're not willing or ready to handle your own truth.
Okay, so I'm gonna push back.
Push back. I want you to.
So I don't think you need to be lying to you at all.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you why. The reality of it is, when you be real with you free up so much space in your brain, so you're not carrying. When you lie, one lie has to keep going and going and going and going and going and going and going, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if this ain't the gift that keep on giving, that's the stress that keep on stressing. And
Yeah, but if I'm not ready to deal with the truth of how I may feel, how I may not feel, then I'm going to be perpetuating a lie to myself,
but
right?
how is it beneficial for you to lie to yourself, knowing at some point, the
Mm-hmm.
bubble gonna bust? You can't tell me that you can't. Feeling good and bad can't coexist in the same space. It can't.
Mm.
It doesn't coexist in the same space. So if you are truly lying to yourself about a situation, you are not going to be happy. It's not going to feel good. Some people don't have any opportunity for emotion. So if the emotion is poor me, I'm this or I'm that and the third, whatever is feeding that emotion so that you can feel any kind of way, right?
Okay.
Instead of no kind of way, oh, nobody loves me, nobody likes me. But if I do this, at least I'm getting that. You're lying because you're still miserable. Lying to you won't take away the fact that you are miserable and unhappy.
Okay. But let's give the people something that they can practically use, right? Because we
Okay.
all know that we lie. I know that I have lied first to myself and then to other people. I wish I could sit on here and tell you that I've never lied. It's
Right.
untrue, right? And but I have found that once I am able to face a truth for myself,
Man,
then
come on.
it does create a strength for me to
Come
be
on.
able to face a truth with
Indeed.
somebody else, right? But I have to first take that time to find that truth with myself. But my
100%.
thing is, how do we build such a relationship with ourselves
Hmm.
that we will stop lying to ourselves first? Because I'm a big believer. I'm gonna lie to you, Coach Toy, until I can't lie to myself. And then when I stop lying to myself, then I'm gonna show up,
Mm.
not telling the white lie, the black lie, the gray lie, the blue lie, whatever the other lies are. I'm gonna
Hmm.
start telling you, hey, Coach Toy, X, Y, and Z.
Hmm.
How do we get there in first our relationships, second in our businesses, third in our interaction with people generally, fourth in the life that we want to live, right? Five in our relationships, because most times where most people lie the most is in the area of their relationships. And then in that area of relationship, it trickles into every other aspect of our lives.
Yeah, because it shifts all together: friendships, relationships, business ships, kinships, all the ships, right? The very first thing is you got to self actualization. Who
Hmm.
am I? What do I deserve? What is this thing doing to me? And where do I feel it in my body? The reason why,
Oh.
especially that fourth question, is vital for you to ask yourself. Because typically, if it's somebody that you love, that's a good feeling. Oh, if
Hmm.
it's a relationship, I got a good feeling something ain't right. If it's something, and that's like a relationship like male, female,
Hmm.
male, female, it's a
Hmm.
good feeling.
Hmm.
If it's somebody, mama, daddy, children, people that's family oriented, best friend, you're going to feel it in your chest, my chest tight. If it's business
Hmm.
related, you're going to have a tension headache.
Hmm.
You got to know, and that'll also identify how you feel about a person. Because if this person up here, you ain't emotionally connected and you don't really care that much. If they give you a headache and stressing you out, you're like, you know what? I'm just gonna be done with this. You
Wait a minute, because I think you just gave the people. You should have charged for that. Now you should have charged for that. You really should have, because I really think that you have got to start to understand and connect with how stuff hit you.
come on
Right?
now.
I have a practice that if I'm having a conversation with someone, and let's say they say or do something,
Hmm.
I say, okay, now, ooh, that hit me a certain kind of way.
Hmm.
right? And the reason why I do that is because I want to first feel how whatever it is that you're saying or doing is connecting with me, right? Because if it's connecting to me in a way that isn't aligned with whatever it is that I'm wanting to do or build with you or whatever the situation may be, this is my opportunity now to reevaluate the situation. Because I always say that if you want to have a relationship, there has to be a happy together alignment. Your mind has to be happy, your heart has to be happy, your soul has to be happy. And when that is aligned with yourself, you can connect with somebody else if they have that same alignment. But a lot of times what happens is that we lie to ourselves. We'll stay in relationships that we're unhappy with. We'll stay in jobs that we're unhappy with. We'll stay in lifestyles that we're unhappy with. And what I'm saying is you don't have to do that if you will first stop lying to yourself. Now, I'm not telling you that the stop lying process is going to happen in a day or a week or a month. Because a lot of times you've built a lifetime of disregarding yourself in your own life.
But people, that's what we're taught.
That's what we're taught.
Everybody else supposed to become for us, Sharon and Sharon. No, you give your toy, June come over here. This been my dog since last Christmas. I want to play with my dog. Little June come. No, you got to share. Like, wait a minute. So there's nothing wrong with that, mind you. But at some point, like, I'll bring it back to you. You said at some point you got to be selfish. I might, child, this holiday coming around.
Okay.
4th of July. You got family members. Are you coming to this? Are you coming to that? No, I'm not. Because I want to protect my peace. And I want to make sure I'm not around certain food because I don't want to gain my weight. I ain't fat, y'all. And I don't think I'm fat.
Hey, whatever your goals are, it's up to you.
And if it's not aligned, then I'm not going to partake, right? Or if I feel like I want to be there and I want to laugh, I want to do my thing. But honestly, I have to be a little selfish because for real talk, forget all that. I'm tired. I've been running like a racehorse. I do a lot. I do a whole lot. I'm not even going to go down the list because it's not relevant. But what is relevant is being selfish is not always selfish. And sometimes it is warranted. Being selfish is not always selfish, and sometimes it's warranted. You got to sometimes take that time and say, you know what, I'm going to eat my food in the car because I ain't sharing it with these kids today.
See, I go further. I don't think there's a time when you shouldn't be selfish. I don't think I show up great for you unless I show up great for me. That's just my mindset on it. If I'm not showing up great for me, I'm not going to show up great for you. If I'm disrespecting me, I'm disrespecting you. If I'm lying to me, I'm lying to you, right? To me, if you are in a position where you're saying, hey, I want to build a better relationship with somebody, right? Then the best way to build a better relationship with somebody else is to first build the best relationship with yourself. But if you have developed a relationship with yourself where you're lying to yourself about your own happiness, if I can't say to myself whether or not I am actually happy or not, how am I ever going to communicate that to anybody else?
But you know what's even more interesting in what you just said? So whenever you start the habit of being okay with lying to you, that then becomes your norm. That then actually does become your truth. And the behavior will follow. Follow me with this. Catch this. We are at the swimming pool.
Okay.
I know I can't swim. For a fact, I can't swim. I'm getting closer and closer and closer to the edge. I'm walking up. I got all the confidence and ego. Ego in the world that says, I'm going to swim today. My gut feeling, the goosebumps on my arm, the ball in my throat, the butterflies in my stomach are all telling me, you better not jump your behind up in that damn water knowing you can't swim. And I do it anyway. What have I accomplished? I'm drowned. I'm DEAD. Keep in mind, this is 20 feet deep. Yeah, that's hyperbole, but I'm going there for a reason. A lot of y'all 20 feet deep. And you knew before you even went to the edge, God gave you all kinds of signs. Your spirituality gave you all kinds of signs. Whoever you sleep in, goosebumps.
You knew before you married the person?
Come on.
You knew before you moved in with the person.
Come on.
You knew before you took the job.
Come on.
Right?
You
Right?
knew before you open your leg.
You knew before you opened your legs. You
You knew
knew.
before you had that baby. Before the decision to do the thing to have that baby. You knew all of that.
But this is my thing though. But seriously, if we're telling the truth and we did know, then why is it that we did it anyway? And I mean, this is a really heartfelt question because I talk to a lot of people on the day-to-day basis, and I'm telling you, I've been doing this for years, and I hear some of the same stories in the areas of relationships specifically. And it started to make me ask the question, okay, are we just not listening to ourselves? Are we not aligning with ourselves and what we want? Or are we really just trained to lie to ourselves and be okay with it?
But there are benefits of lying.
Okay, I'm listening.
Actually, I mean, it makes sense.
I'm gonna drink a little wine with that, but I'm listening. Keep going.
I know that. God dang on it, I left my glass of wine. No, next time I have it. So there are benefits of lying, right? A lot of times we lie to protect ourselves, right? That's one. We lie to protect other people.
Okay.
That's two. We lie for our own personal gain. That's three. And no, let me break personal gain down. Whether it's notoriety, whether it's likability, whether it's for a conversation to have compatibility, something to talk about that we are compatible with or about. It's for some people lie.
Hold on. I got my nephew. One of my nephews coming in here. I want to bring him onto the show. This is my Dr. Damarcus Baymon. He not Damarcus. Now you just graduated from residency.
Yep.
Where?
From Harvard, in their emergency medicine program.
And you are going to be starting your medical career where?
At Harvard, at the Brigham Women's Hospital.
All right now. Now this is my nephew right here. Now this my baby right here. This my baby right here. Now nephew, this is Coach Toy.
Hi, Coach Toy.
Now, Coach Toy, Damarcus, Dr. Baymon, Dr. Baymon. Okay, Dr. Baymon. Okay, we are talking about stop lying.
Yeah.
Okay, and specifically in relationships because, have you ever lied in a relationship?
Yeah.
Okay, and have you ever lied to yourself about a relationship?
Yes.
Why do we do that?
I think we're searching for something higher within ourselves, and so you're hoping that the lie will eventually turn into the truth.
Okay, so you lie to yourself, hoping that the lie, searching for something within yourself, hoping that the lie to the other will turn into the truth.
Correct.
So is it possible that until that lie turns into the truth for you, it can never turn into the truth for another?
Oh, 100%.
100%.
Yeah, 100%.
So then tell me this, what generally happens to the relationship that you've been searching in yourself for, that you've been lying about? What usually happens to that relationship?
It usually doesn't work out.
It usually doesn't work out.
It usually doesn't.
He said usually. Is somebody in the cut that's still working for you?
I'm not going to answer that question. I'm not going to answer that question. Coach Toy, why you going there? Why you going there? It's a general conversation.
Don't be a girl, okay? You cannot come on uncomfortable conversations and be comfortable. That defeats the purpose. We hustling backwards. We gonna bring it on home. But I love the honesty. I mean, it is what it is, right?
Thank you, nephew.
Thanks for having me.
All right, thank you. Wow, that was kind of. She got the fan. She got the fan blowing.
That's an uncomfortable conversation.
You know what? But that's what it's all about. If you can't have an uncomfortable conversation with yourself, you'll never have an uncomfortable conversation with someone that you love, someone
Right.
that you want to be with. And generally, by the time you start having that uncomfortable conversation, it might be too late,
Mm, mm,
right? To
mm,
save the relationship, to
mm,
save the job, to save the business, to say it applies in every area of your life,
mhm.
every area of your life. It just does.
Wow. But
It
then,
just does.
but so maybe from a different perspective, you
Uh-huh.
can always fix you. It's always room to fix you. There's always room for you to change you. It's simple as changing a habit. Being lying is a habit, whether it's for good, bad, whether it's gray, black, white, omission, or commission. You know what I mean? Commissioned. You have to know where you are with you first because you got to know your authentic self. And one
Yeah.
of the biggest things that I like to talk about when I'm talking to people in terms of when they had a chest stuck out and all that stuff, when they be
Mm-hmm.
lying, is the ego. You got to learn, first of all, learn what an ego is, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that's
Mm-hmm.
your assignment. Look up the definition of ego. And then also research one more thing, take it a step further. How do I remove that? And we're going to talk about that next week. We're going to talk about that next week. That just came.
Well, in 2 weeks, we always say next week, but
Yeah,
our shows are the first and the third
the third
Thursdays
Thursday
of the
of the
month.
month. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm always, that's why we are a duet, because I promise you, I will weak you to death, but it's 2 weeks. So yeah, we're going to talk about ego, and y'all assignment will be definitely on that so that we can explore that and open and unpack that. And I think that's important because this whole show too also wants you to embody who you are from the outside in or the inside out, however you choose to go. We don't choose for you, so that you can make permanent change, right? That's the whole point. It's just not for entertainment purposes. We want y'all to get something out of this. We want, when you leave our show, for you to have something tangible that you can do, something that you've learned, and something that you can utilize so that you can transform from who you are today to where you're trying to go in the future. That's all we're
Absolutely.
trying to do.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think I like what what Dr. Baymon was saying, that a lot of times we're actually, I think, always searching for something greater within ourselves.
Hmm.
And we have a habit of projecting it on someone else,
Hmm.
right? Like I
Hmm.
had someone tell me, and I thought it was very profound for me. They said, "Well, Sean, you're very good at analyzing something, but you tend to project it on other people,
Mm.
and you need to start to replace you with I."
Okay.
Right? Instead of you doing X, Y, and Z, it's I. Instead
Hmm.
of you growing X, Y, Z, it's I. And when I was told that, I was like, that kind of hit a certain kind of way. But it actually also grew me up a little bit
Hmm.
because it made me more mindful that when, let's say, if I'm talking to someone and they say something that is kind of profound, instead of me thinking about, oh, yeah, Toy's situation is XYZ, I'm going to call Toy and tell her that she needs to do this, that, and the other. I can then say, you know what? No, no, no. Let me see how is that affecting me? So
Hmm.
instead of you, I, or me,
Hmm.
right? And if I start with me, now I am feeding that inner being part of me, right? I'm feeding that to grow me up a little bit more instead of projecting it to you, right? Because if I project it to you, I don't learn. I don't learn when I project it to you. I have to start with me. So, oh,
And
Carlos got a question. Carlos says, how do you stop lying after you have identified the lies? Carlos, you be hitting them.
so,
How do you stop lying after you have identified the lies you tell? You want to chop that up?
oh, absolutely. It's simple. One word. It's one word, sweetheart. The way that you stop lying after you've identified it is to stop.
I get that. I agree with that.
I'm
My
not,
best friend told me one time, when you're ready to stop, Sean, you'll stop. And I agree with you. I agree with you. But how do you
so,
get to the first stop?
so let me unpack it. I'm gonna unpack it, right?
Okay.
So once you identify it and you make
Mm-hmm.
a decision to say, I'm going to stop it, now my suggestion is to find you a trigger word. So
Mm.
when you feel the lie coming on, tell yourself, trigger word, words, whatever, not today. or the devil is a lie, or whatever you need to tell you within you. So that could be your trigger to turn that switch off whenever it tries to turn on. That's the only way you're going to kill it.
But what if, let me take what Carlos is saying, maybe a step further than even what he was saying. What if you have become your lie? Meaning you've lied so much. You know how somebody say, baby, I'm done. I'll never cheat again. I love you. I love you. I love you. When in actuality, the lie is, I love you. In actuality, I don't love you, but I've lied so much about loving you that I've identified with that lie. How do you stop there? How do you stop that lie?
That's a good question, and I'm going to toss the ball over to you.
Well, I think that what you got to do is you got to first admit that you don't love that person. Right? And that can be hard because if you spent 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years lying about love, because a lot of times we confuse love. Well, no, love and lust. I'm not going to even go there. I think a lot of times we think that we know we love someone and we use our logical mind. Well, I know I have to love you because I've been with you for 20 years. But 20 years don't have nothing to do with love. I could have been with you for 20 years because of the children, the bills. I'm afraid. I like a roommate. I'm scared. Whatever. It could be many reasons, right? That logically it makes sense that I'm supposed to love you, but I don't feel anything, right? I think you stop lying when you start to trust your feelings. Right? When you start to trust your feelings, you stop lying. So that if I'm with you and let's say we rocking it, we doing the thing, right? But then all of a sudden I kind of realize, you know what? I ain't really feeling her. I ain't really feeling him. I'm just not feeling that. But instead of me owning that I'm not feeling, and I start to change, all of a sudden I don't answer the phone when you call. All of a sudden I'm busy on Friday. All of a sudden I got something to do. I'm breaking up.
Yeah, you staticky.
I don't even know what to do. I'm somewhere. I'm not where I'm. What about now? I'm still staticky.
You're still staticky.
What about now?
You're still staticky. But you're still staticky.
I'm still staticky. I don't know what to do.
Am I staticky? Okay, so I'll take over from here. So one of the things you can do is just trust the truth. Trust your truth. Trust if you don't love that person, or trust whatever that lie is within you. You have to trust whatever the truth is, because we'll tell each other lies all day long, like I said before, because we want to feel a certain feeling. I've been guilty of it. I have wanted to feel something from this someone so bad. I made every excuse in the world to make him be in that mental space with me, with the hopes of we will actually develop whatever that thing is that I desire, without even considering the fact that I have no control. Say something.
Something. Can you hear me?
Static is still.
Static is still.
Yes, without even realizing that I have no control of anyone else's behavior. And I think when we let our egos go, instead, because a lot of people lie, for the number one reason why people lie is for control. In every capacity, it's for control of whatever situation it is. Because I don't want to show you what the real is, because I want to keep you in a specific space, whatever that is. They do it. We do it. We do. Everybody have done it. We do it for particular control. Sororities do it with girls who want to play certain things. I've seen it happen firsthand, to dangle certain things over them or whatever to keep control. They'll lie to them and say, "I'll do this, I'll do that." Or even in relationships, I'll do this, I'll do that, to dangle the desire over one's head, and tell them anything to make them believe it, and then still not deliver in the end.
Okay, so someone said that they can actually hear me pretty clear. So
now I can.
You can. Okay. All right. So this is the thing. You said something I want us to unpack a little bit before we end the show. You mentioned the word control. Now, I have this thing, and I said I was going to write a blog about it. I've kind of wrote about it. I just haven't released anything on it. Okay. Love and control are twins. They look a lot alike.
I agree.
They look a lot alike, right? And someone, when you are not comfortable and confident in who you are, someone can do things that's controlling you, and you will interpret it in your mind or your heart or a combination of both as love. But in actuality, it's just a chess move of control.
Come on now. Facts.
That's it. That's all it is. So this is the reason why I think self-care is very important,
Bring it on home.
right? Because when you have self-care, you are putting the most prominent person first, and that's yourself.
Mhm.
And if I'm putting myself first, and then I connect with you, and you ain't treating me right, why would I stay with someone who's treating me less good than me treating myself? So this is how you nip those relationships in the bud early. Now, the problem is most of us are trained to make it work. Their relationships are hard. That I gotta lie to myself, because if I lie to myself, then as Dr. Baymon was saying, well,
I.e. settle. I'm listening.
i.e. settle, right?
Mhm.
Because really, when you lie to yourself, you are saying you don't deserve your beauty, your greatness, your goodness. You don't deserve, as Carrie likes to say, all the goods. But I'm here to tell you that you deserve all the goods. And when you start to give yourself all your goods, then you're not going to accept anything less than all the goods from somebody else. And if you just happen to be kind of, sometimes we could be in a stuck situation where we can't get out right quick, but we could be building that love for ourselves so that when we can exit, right, we are setting ourselves up for all of the goods, all of the beauty, all of the love, and we are not going to self-deceive ourselves into our own unhappiness.
Come on now. And we see social media, we see people even in real life, like parents or aunts and uncles or relationships or businesses that we admire and we desire that thing. And then we take it a step further and we sometimes find ourselves, even living through them, right? And so I know there was a time when I wanted to actually make six figures. I did. And I was like, I'm going to do whatever I can to make the six figures. So I found myself running around like a chicken with my head cut off, for example, trying to chase every six figure maker. I'm looking at videos, I'm looking at my mentors. I got 2 millionaire mentors. I'm running myself in the ground. And I'm saying to myself, I'm cut like, I'm going to get it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get it. I'm going to do it. But what was I really doing to myself right now? I wasn't lying to myself, but I was lying that I was going to be at that status at that particular time. Exactly. I was lying to myself that it was going to happen in 6 weeks. I was lying to myself that it was going to happen in 6 months. It took me 5 years before I made my first six figures when I started investing.
Yeah.
See, we have a tendency to, when we want something or whatever, we'll put everything else in front of it except for the truth. Exactly. So when I learned my truth, I started moving different. When I learned my truth, I started almost acting like a horse in a carriage, putting my blinders on and not being distracted by the things that was going on around me. So I ask you, who would you be if you actually took the time out to find and know your own truth? Who would you be if you start living your truth? How much more less stress could you have if you said to yourself, I'm going to remove my ego and I'm going to live the truth that's going to make me live my highest form of prosperity? Today, I just give y'all the permission to say, give yourself permission, if you will, because you don't need mine.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
No, I want to piggyback, because a lot of times we talk about relationships. There's uncomfortable conversations in every area. What's up, cousin Candice? Hello. What's up, Elliot? Okay, Elliot, I'm gonna talk about your take emotions out of the hustle, and I agree with you, right? Because I want to talk about building career capital. Because I think a lot of times what happens with us is that, especially when you get into like the self-development movement, right? And it's all about finding your purpose. And I've been saying, you cannot find your purpose. You are your purpose.
Come on.
Okay? You are your purpose. And when you start to, as Elliot just said, take the emotion. See, the reason why you want to find your purpose is because you want to be emotional about it.
You want
But
to feel a
remember,
certain way.
yeah, you want to feel a certain kind of
There you
way.
go.
But sometimes you got to do the grunt work. And you want to build the career capital, right? And the career capital meaning building your skill sets, right?
Come on.
And career capital is doing shows like this, getting better and better and better and better
Yeah.
and better and better
Yeah.
and whatever it is that you want to do. And when you do that, as you build your career capital, now you gain control,
Come on.
right? Right? So you don't want to find your purpose because your purpose is not out there. Your purpose is right here, right? It's connected to either that which you feel like you are good at or that which you feel you want to be good at for
Right.
whatever your reasons are. And so, Alan, as Elliot is saying, take your emotions out, right? Because emotions, as he said, are blinders, right? They are especially blinders when you really haven't connected to yourself, right?
And the truth and the lie can't coexist together either. You can't do both. You know what I mean? Like, even though you may lie to you or you may lie to somebody else, you still know subliminally that it is there. That's why so many people have health issues. That's why, like, I'm stressing and I don't know what I'm stressing for. That's because you're carrying. Something. Erica Badu said it the best. She said, hold on, let me get my mic out. Get my mic on, Carly. Get my mic, Carly. Give me that mic, bro. I know they don't want you to turn the speaker on. I ain't finna sing for real. Just give me the mic as a prop. Bad lady, you gonna hurt your back. Hey, not in back like that. Hey! I'm done. I'm for real. You dragging them bags like that. Let them bags go.
Let them go. Let them go. I mean, it is a lot of times I think that we do the blame game when it comes to our money. I know I did. I'm not gonna talk about y'all. I'm talking about me. Talk about me, right? I did the blame game. I blamed everybody else why my money was short. I did it for a long time. But my money was short was because I didn't want to do the grunt work. But the grunt work is how you build the career capital that then opens up the control of your day. Right? So if you got a day, right? And we all got jobs, businesses, etc. Right? In that day, you might have to do a lot of shit that you don't want to do. But you got to do it. But all I tell people is in that day, how much more are you adding in some of the things that you just want to do? Right? Are you learning how to video edit? Right? Are you going live and getting yourself comfortable communicating? Right? Are you reading a book to build up a skill? Right? You can work your full day and you can carve out an hour of self-development time. And if you are doing that self-development time every day, now you're going to have exponential growth in the development of you. Right? But if you say, well, I can't do this because Toy holding me back, you lying to yourself.
Oh, 100%.
And I did it. I did it for years. And sometimes I still do it. I have to catch myself.
And then let me say, Coach Sean, people also be lying to themselves like I do everything on my own. I'm a one-man show. Let me tell y'all something. And I'm going to put this out here, and I'm not always comfortable having this conversation, but it just is what it is. So this is odd. As it relates to making money, I didn't start making real money until I started to delegate. So I have mentors that we talked about, and that we talked about how do I scale, right? You can't keep all your money. You just can't do it. You're not going to grow like that. I have learned how to make my money have babies. I'll say this again and scream it to the birds and the clouds, the sun and the moon, because I got screenshots and receipts to prove it. I am the highest preferred customer that you can be at a bank, platinum preferred. It's not by accident that I got there. It came from some hard work. It came from some paying some folks to do what I need to do, because the most valuable asset that we have is TIME. And if you can't do something, your best friend is write this down. Get a piece of paper. If y'all got no paper, write this down. Write this down. Write this down. If your best friend in this business world is O y'all feeling me right?
Go.
Yeah, if you don't know how to do it, Google it or somebody that can help you get it done. And pay the people to do what they do real good. Notice I said real good. Don't just get you somebody that just pay. They got to know what they doing because then that's going to hold you back. You ain't really successful. I can't talk about you. I ain't going to be really feeling like I'm successful. I don't care how many commas and decimals I got. But until I can go to sleep when I want to and wake up when I want to, I'm not successful to me. You know, because I'm running and running and running for my money. Yes, I have a team of people that help me, but it's still this one thing that I need to get under control, right? And quit lying to myself like I can do it myself and get the right person in place to help me do this thing so I can free my mind.
Yeah.
So I be lying to y'all.
Yeah. And I hear you. I think everybody has different. I feel like when I show up, success shows up with me, right? I don't really tie it to any particular amount of money. I think I tie it to a mindset. I tie it to an attitude. I tie it to a sharing with others. One book that I would recommend based upon something that you said about when your money making money for you is this book called The Richest Man in Babylon, right? This is how you learn that your money should have babies, seeds. And those seeds should be creating something. And what we have to understand is that your initial seed may not be creating a lot of money initially, but it is creating money. Because remember, money isn't actually paper.
It's an energy.
It's not actually coins. It's an energy, right? It's an energy. But I want to address Carlos. Carlos asked the question. He said, so is it possible to say, let me show this question. Is it possible to say that the lies we tell ourselves come from us projecting an unknown void we have that we don't know how to feel? Carlos brings it. When I tell you, Carlos, you bring the questions.
He brings the question.
He brings the question, Carlos.
But wait a minute, how could you not know if you can concoct a lie to try to manipulate the situation to get a specific outcome?
Well, wait a minute, because I think it goes back to feelings. If you are not connected to your own feeling, you will be trying to fill a void with something that doesn't fit.
Okay, I see. That's a different perspective.
All right. So if I'm trying to fill a void with something that doesn't fit, I will always feel voided. I will always feel unfulfilled.
So even if something is not healthy for you,
I'm going to still try to make that unhealthy thing healthy. Right? So Carlos' question is, if I had a bullseye, I'll point it bullseye, because that is how you when we asked earlier, how do you stop lying? Yeah. Carlos's question gives the answer, right? When you stop lying, you're going to stop telling yourself, I feel good. I feel good. No, your ass don't. I love them. No, you don't.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. I love this job. No, you don't.
I don't.
Just sometimes you got to just say, I don't. And I don't mean to hurt your feelings, but I don't. Right? And but I just don't. I just don't. Right?
There is a lot of folks like that. If you told me, I know this is on and off subject. Listen, if you ask me a question, especially as it relates to finances or relationships, like with a man, if you ask me, do you love me? Do you like me? Do you no? Or yeah, I'm going to tell you yes or no. I don't play them kind of games because it's wasted energy. But the beauty about the brain, y'all, and the beauty about the brain, once you start to quit carrying those bags, i.e. removing the ego so that you can make space for that. When the brain starts to make space, you only have so much space in your brain. So when you make that space, I'm telling you, it just makes room for all that goodness to come in. It makes room, and it makes it lighter. You want it to be as light as possible. You know what I mean? And is it always going to be perfect? No. Can we just normalize looking for perfection, because it doesn't need to be.
Well, see, this is where me and Toy disagree, but we agree. See, I actually think everything is actually perfect in itself. Perfect doesn't mean growth isn't going to happen.
Mhm.
Perfect just means it's perfect based upon where I'm at, right?
Okay.
You could be perfectly lying to yourself because you haven't heard Carlos's question that you're
Come on.
trying to fill a void
Come on.
that person can't feel, that job can't feel, right? So you are perfect in that moment. But once you hear Coach Toy and Sean Speaks say, hey, you got a void, and Carlos say, hey, you got a void that you are trying to fill. You have a healthy void that you're trying to fill with unhealthiness. And you don't know yet that what you're trying to fill your healthy void with is unhealthy, right? You're going to keep trying to fill a void and you're going to still feel unfulfilled.
100%.
100%. See, I am of the mindset that life is delightful. It's delightful. And if it's not delightful, it's only because there's some shit I need to change.
Come on.
That I haven't faced yet.
Mm.
And I haven't decided to make the decision
Come
to
on.
stop.
Come on.
That's it. Sometimes you just got to make the decision to stop. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that that's an easy decision to come to. But and as my best friend has told me all the time, Sean, you'll stop when you stop. Now, how long it takes me to get to that first stop, I don't know. But once I get to that first stop, then you'll stop.
And I'll go a little.
Hold on. We got Elliot a question before you go there. Elliot says, what's more important, making a lot of money or longevity?
Longevity in what capacity?
Elliot, if you hear the question, her comment back was longevity in what capacity?
So are we saying longevity in the thing that we're making money from, or money or longevity in a relationship? Because that's two different things.
Why don't you answer it both ways until Elliot either comments before we end the show? Just answer it both ways, just assuming he may mean both of them.
So when we're talking about money versus longevity from a business perspective, you have to create a foundation so that the longevity can be inevitable.
Okay.
Because if you don't, then you won't have anything. Like, you got to have money to run a business and for your livelihood and create legacies and things of that nature. From a relationship perspective, if I'm going to choose money or longevity of a relationship, no pun intended, pun for those who feel the way they feel, I'm going to choose money every time. Because stability is the most important thing in the world to me. Because if I don't have the money that I need, now I'm not saying I got to be in abundance. That's not it. But I position myself to where I won't have to worry about being in poverty. Okay. The other thing is, sex and money are the main two reasons why people divorce. You ain't nasty enough, or you ain't making enough coins. Okay. So that is also going to rock the boat or shake the ground, which goes back to, yeah, you fine and all, but you can't pay, you ain't helping with these bills. I'm stressed and I'm struggling. You sitting here looking cute. I can't take your fine ass to MLG and W and sit you there and say this your payment. That's going to get old. So we got to be able to financially secure ourselves enough to where that's not a thing that's going to rock the boat, and i.e. creates longevity over time anyway.
Wait a minute, I got another cameo. I got my other, hold on, I gotta give my other nephew, Cameron Fleming. Cameron Fleming. Okay, Cameron Fleming. Now, you played for who again?
Denver Broncos.
He played for the Denver Broncos. And we're talking about stop lying, right? And we're kind of talking about stop lying in the area of relationships, in the area of making money. Now we know you make some money. So what would be your advice to people to stop lying in the area of career?
Career? I mean, it's a little bit literal with my profession, just with playing football. You can try to lie, but there's a lot of lying that goes on, but it's always exposed because whatever you lie about, you got to prove on the field. Whatever you talk about, you have to prove on the field. So it's a little bit more, I'd say, instant than most careers or businesses and stuff like that. Maybe you lie on a resume or something like that, and it doesn't come up to light for the next 6-7 months or 6-7 years, whoever knows. But for me, if I lie and tell something that's not true, then the next day I got to go put on the pads and get exposed, I guess. I mean, if I'm lying about it. So, I mean, it's
so it's like this. Like today, we left and we kind of went shopping, hanging out, riding around. While we're doing that, where were you?
I was at the gym.
He was at the gym, right? Because when you're focus minded and you want to achieve it, right? And you want to build that career capital, you got to put in that time. You got to do things that other people don't do so that you can then have what other people will never have because they won't do what they need to do to build that career capital.
Even
right?
when no one is watching.
That's the key. Now that's the critical key. When no one is watching is when you have to do that. Because I was like, where Cameron? Come back. Cameron he was at the gym. He was putting it in, right? Because that's when it counts. That's when it counts. Yeah.
That's dedication.
That's dedication.
Can I add one thing to
Absolutely.
that? I would say that even if, I mean, it's not about as much doing it when nobody is watching it. It's more about making a habit of it. Because like going to the gym, like it's not even, it's second nature to me. It's like what I do, you know. It's like drinking water, you know. You're supposed to drink water. You do it whether somebody's looking or not. So I think it's building those habits is one of the biggest things.
Absolutely. Thank
Good
you,
evening,
Cameron.
No problem. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you. Oh, Coach Toy is my nephew, Cameron Fleming.
Y'all have a good one.
Thank you, nephew.
No problem.
All right, so hey BJ, how are you? All right, so Elliot, let me see. What's Elliot's question? Hold on, let me put it on there again. Can you read that question for me? Can you see it? I ain't got my glasses. Okay, it says my relationship has nothing to do with my business. If your relationship interferes with your business, then you have the wrong mate. I'm drinking. You see, Elliot, I'm drinking to that.
15. Because if I hear one more time, I'm just playing.
You got to respond to that.
I ain't touching that.
I had to drink that.
I ain't touching it.
But, okay, so I'm going to touch it. I'm going to touch it because Elliot, my boy, Elliot, my friend. I like Elliot. I love Elliot. Okay, so he says, my relationship has nothing to do with my business. So I think if you're in a relationship and the relationship is totally disconnected from your business, I think Elliot is 1,000% correct, right? You know, because at the end of the day, if you're taking care of business, then your relationship, whoever you're in a relationship with, should understand that you're taking care of business.
They don't though.
And if they don't understand that you're taking care of business, you might just be in the wrong relationship.
Because people that aren't business people and they ain't grinders and we don't understand the same thing, it's almost like having two different cultures in the household. If you with somebody and you got a 9 to 5, but yet my wife, she grinding, she got a 9 to 5, a 6 to 8 and a 8 to whatever, and it's a time frame where she has to do that, but she has to make time for you too, don't get me wrong. But if you got somebody that don't understand that dynamic, you are with the wrong person, because I don't want to be constantly. I've had this happen to me time, but this is why I am single. I'm sick of it. You're not going to tell me if I'm bringing in $30,000 plus a month. You're not going to tell me, and I don't need you financially. None of that. I'm handling business. So instead of complaining, why not say, babe, today, just for today or tomorrow or tonight, whatever it is, let me help take some of the burden off of you. What can we do to free up some of this time so we can spend time together? Because you're going to be nagging and stuff, and you're going to nag your way right on about the door with the rest of them. Because at the end of the day, I'm not putting my business in front of you, but you got to understand where the person is. Don't come in and be like, oh, he's famous for this. Oh, he has this and that. But yet you ignore the grind, but you want all the shine. You can't do that. This is like a girl who's a bodybuilder who's super fine, whatever that is, right? She got to go to the gym. You want her to be at home at 7 o'clock. Well, the gym we don't even start class until 7 because I get off at 5. I got to shower and get ready. And then you tripping about that, it becomes a problem. That's why you got to know who you with. You got to know what you want. You got to push your ego to the side. They can't coexist. You want somebody that grind a 9 to 5, make a choice. Do what's right for you. Don't want it because it's shiny, it's glittery, and it's pretty. And if you can't stand the heat, get your ass out the kitchen because I ain't going to stop grinding. And I shouldn't have to.
Well, Coach Toy has spoken, y'all. She is not going to stop grinding. So if you are wanting to, connect with Coach Toy, you have to understand the grind comes first.
Well, it depends. It's relative, right?
It is. I was hoping you were going to say that because it is relative.
I will sacrifice, and I will submit, and I will balance with the right one. But you cannot come through the door expecting unrealistic expectations from somebody who's created a habit of grinding, because it's only me and I got my family to take care of. So if you ain't going to contribute to try to lessen the load, what I say, be quiet.
Be quiet. Wait a minute. Elliot says, do you know the difference between the Indian and the chief?
Oh, absolutely.
But I'm going to shut up and I'm going to drink my wine on that go.
So the Indian pretty much is the follower. The chief is the one who heads everything. But you can't come in here chiefing and you ain't handling the business. And you see, if behaviors, let me say this and I end. Behaviors and the way that we identify and we react and act toward people are based off of their behaviors. So if you're somebody that's calling yourself a chief, but you're acting like a child, the brain doesn't say chief, treat him like a chief. It's going to automatically switch over to childlike behavior. No, treating you like a child. Because if I'm around my grandmother, my tone is very different. But if I'm around my girls, I'm like, So it's that. If I'm listening to a gospel song, I'm all in my feelings. But if I'm listening to Juvenile back that thing up, I could be at church or here that side, baby. That side of work, we're going to be late trying to get that last.
I have a question. For both you and Elliot. I have a question for both you and Elliot. Does money play a factor in whether you're the chief or you're the Indian? Does money play a factor?
No. Okay. No, it does not. Money ain't got
Elliot, if you still on here, answer that question. Does money play a factor for you and whether you're the chief or the Indian? Before we finish up, if you can put a response there, I would like to hear your thoughts. Carlos, I would like to hear your thoughts too if you're still on. He says the Indian make decisions based off one, I'm assuming he says hunt, but the chief makes a decision based off of all the guts and his hunt. Or I'm assuming he means hunt.
No, it's hut. Like the hut. Chief have huts. So.
Oh, he says, okay, hold on. This is another comment. He says, who has to do the cleanup if something goes wrong?
It depends on who messed it up. I mean, that's like, for me, come and say, who messed it, who ruined it? You fix what you wrote. And if you need my assistance along the way, let's get this thing crack-a-lacking. I got your back.
So basically what you're saying, if you need my assistance, if you mess something up, then we are more of a partnership than anything. Okay, so this is what I want to leave with our women and men. If you're in a situationship, as Coach Toy likes to call it, or if you're in a relationship, or if you're in a marriage, and let's say one spouse is the breadwinner, meaning one spouse makes more money than the other.
And it always happens.
Yeah, and it always happens sometimes that way. That doesn't mean that the breadwinner is the chief and you not being the breadwinner is the Indian. And we're using these because Elliot took us there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that you have to understand the role that you play.
Exactly.
And play that role very craftily, right? Because you could be the person, the woman or the man, and not work at all, not actually make money, but yet be the reason plenty of money flows through your household.
Yes.
You never actually work.
You gotta have a partner. That's right?
It. Because it's about partnership.
Because all money ain't green.
Not all money is free, but it's
not all money is green.
Oh, not all. That's right. Not all money
ain't green.
Well, I'll say no money is really green. Once you kind of you accept that, you realize you're not working for your money. You're working to exert an energy that has a life force of itself that can produce the prosperity that exists in this world. I'll give you an example. I was in a furniture store buying something for my was looking for something for my son for his bedroom, and the salesman was trying to tell me that I needed to really buy the furniture today because lumber was scarce. And normally, if the salesperson told me that, I'd have been like, really? What? But I didn't say that. I said, how the hell lumber is scarce when I done just drove down the street to this store and I done passed all these trees? Lumber ain't scarce. Now, you might want me to believe lumber is scarce through supply. Not, but lumber in itself isn't scarce. And that's how we have to have our mindset about money. Money isn't scarce. All right. So let's go. This is Ellie. Ellie say, okay, I think he was talking about a comment earlier from that's the chief, something that you were describing. But this other comment is the chief is the one that has to fix it if it goes bad. Maybe. If it's a chief problem. Some problems is a quote unquote Indian problem. Right? I think it depends upon the role. And I think it depends upon the problem. And I think it depends upon the dynamics, right? I think it all depends upon the uniqueness of whatever that relationship is between the parties.
You just said something powerful, Sean. So the uniqueness of whatever the relationship is, a lot of people try to fit it into a box. They try to fit it into a sock. They try to fit it up under a rock. Whatever that thing is going to fit whatever society says is best for us. But let me tell you something. When we learn how to give ourselves permission to live our own truth in our relationships, our own truth in our businesses, our lives as a whole would be different because now we're not measuring ourselves against anyone else. We can actually live happy and comfortable in our situation and live in bliss. The moment you start to compare yourself to Peter, Paul, the Joneses, and the Jacksons, if you will, that's when the stress starts. So I don't like the chief Indian. I don't like the head, the follower. For me, I don't care for that. And I could marry a man or be in a relationship with someone who had that mindset because I think the more authentic we are with us and the more we create with us, the more beautiful we can be with us and the outcome for us would be. Notice I kept saying us. That was intentional because we too much compare ourselves to them. Everybody want to be like them. Who the hell are the Joneses? Anyway, who are they? You know what I mean? So again, I just like to, whatever that beauty of life looks like for you, do that. Exactly. And trust yourself and be fair to yourself without judgment of you and giving a damn about the judgment of others.
Absolutely. And I clap to that because I will go a little bit further with that. I say, it definitely is us, but it first starts with you.
Come on now.
Be true to you. And when you're true to you, you can be true to us. Now, Carlos says, you could be the breadwinner, but not be financially responsible. That darn Carlos be bringing it. So being a chief goes way deeper than money. Point taken. That's it. It goes way deeper. That's why I think it's about the role you play and then the confidence and how good you play in the role that you're playing. And understand that it's a partnership or a teamship, right? Just in case it's more than two, right? It's a teamship. Right. And it's about playing your position.
Here you go in the polygamy.
Hey, look, let me tell you something. One of the things that I realized after our last conversation, just based upon conversations I had with several people who had watched the show, is that a lot of people thought that our show last week was going to be really heavily influenced on talking about trying to get people to be in polygamy relationships. Right. And in actuality, they were very shocked to find that some of them were already in polygamy relationship. They did not see the twist that we brought in that show. They didn't see that shit coming.
That's the beauty of uncomfortable conversations. Yes,
exactly. Right? Because they were already in polygamous relationship.
Wow.
They were
Good.
already in it.
Oh, for sure. And some of y'all in it today and tonight, and I'm about
Yeah.
to
And
tell
you're
back
going to be
to
in it
mine.
tomorrow.
I'm in a polygamous relationship. I'm lying. I ain't her. I'm busting heads, crack his jaws, running into walls, got him screaming, I ain't going. I'm just playing. Anyway, y'all, we finna get ready to hop off of this thing. This has been absolutely amazing. I cannot believe we have gone on. It does not feel like it's been an hour and 15 minutes, but it has been. We are going to give you guys the rest of y'all night back. But listen, let me tell y'all
Thank
something.
you.
Thank y'all so much for everybody who participated, who shared, who liked, who commented, all of that good stuff. Coach Sean, thank you for holding me accountable. I have to say this publicly because Coach Toy be tired and it be taking everything in me to break my trying to rest, get in between, getting all the stuff done to do this for the people, and it's needed. I'm so happy that you said yes to me and trusted you to even ask me as well. So anyway, guys, next 2 weeks from now, I had it right. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about egos. Remember the assignment. I want you to look up the definition of ego. When y'all come back, have it ready. I also want you to look at how do you remove it. I want you to have that ready, right? So this way it can be, this is a dialogue. I don't want it to be a monologue. I want you guys to interact more. So this way y'all can bounce the ball our way. We'll bounce the ball back your way. And that's how we grow together. And Coach Sean, she's a fantastic attorney. Oh my God, thank you for being my co-host on Uncomfortable Conversations. And if you want to get certified as a life coach, ICC Life Coach Institute is the name of my school. We are globally accredited through the ICF, and our mission, of course, is to create legacies and secure livelihoods for you and your family. Fire that boss will make you some extra money while changing lives and making some money doing it. Coach Sean, I'm going to toss the ball back to you, sweetheart, before we end our shindig.
Thank you for that, Coach Toy. I'm ShonSpeaks, and you know what? Look, I'm an attorney. I am someone who wants you to live your best life, right? And it's not about how much money you make, because you can make as much money as you want to make as long as your life is good. It's about you having great relationships, whether loving relationships, friendship relationships, associations, etc. It's about you living your best life. And you know what? And it starts honestly with 100% belief in you. And that's what I try to perpetuate in what I write in my blogs. If you are a client or ever want to be a client at the Fleming Law Firm, it's going to be what you get from me, right? Right? My clients get my counsel, right? And that counsel is this particular problem that you have will not always be. So let's think about long term. Let's think about the vision. Let's think about looking into the nothingness and bringing both light and darkness so that your vision of your life is created. And that's ShonSpeaks. That's what I'm all about.
And what I love about us, because I always end with us, what I love about us is we both are servant leaders. Yes. When you have servant leaders at the heart, and we've been properly trained, I'm a master certified professional life coach. She's a coach. She's also an attorney, etc. Bringing those two things together is magnetic, right? Yeah. And then it's also gratifying for me. And I feel like it is for you too, Sean. Yes. And then the beauty about it is we exude that off and on to others as well. So y'all can learn and we can grow together on that.
Absolutely.
On that
note, we'll see y'all in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. See y'all back. We'll have another uncomfortable conversation about ego on next week. Y'all have a good one.
Ashe.
Ashe.